Jessie! Jessie. Hello, Dylan. Hello, Dylan. Yeah, crazy dog. You're a crazy dog. Yay! Right, so we're actually in the workshop. And I've got mail. Well package, as you can see. Oh my days. Well, you know what that means. Quick, let's go! Oh yes, let's crack on for part 2 of Fiat Seicento electric power steering. Hi all, my name's Hannah and I'm the C5 nut. Well, you might have just seen what was in a package. And oh yes, that's right, we are going to be doing the part 2 of, I nearly forgot then, Fiat Seicento fitting power steering to it. Now, if you haven't seen the first video, I would recommend please doing it, or please watch it. So, just to give you an update, so my little Fiat is an S, so it's basic as a basic can be. It never ever had power steering, and the SX, the Citymatics, and the Sportings all had power steering. It was the S model that never did. So yeah, I'm going to do something what possibly never has been done before, is try to fit the power steering onto a car that has never had it in its life. So we will be faced with quite a few challenges, like wiring and a few other bits and pieces. It is bloody cold out here, and Jesse's had a bit of a haircut. I mean like a massive haircut. So what I'm going to do is flip the camera around. Hello, Dylan. Hello, Dylan. Yeah, you look completely different, don't you? Huh? She is really cold, which means I'm going to have to close the doors and get the heating on. So again, we're at my work. Yeah, and we're going to be working on this. So the first things to do, make sure you disconnect the battery and tuck it down there so it can't reconnect. Okay, so I've now just closed the door, obviously. Hopefully there should be enough light in this workshop. Well, the lights are on. Jesse's now free to roam. Hello, Dylan. Hello, Dylan. Hello, Dylan. Right. I think I might be going down with a cold, so we will see what we can do. But right, so just a recap: battery's disconnected. This doesn't have any airbags in it at all, so I can just pull it off, undo the centre bolt. Steering wheel then come off, and then it's 4 screws holding this cover in place. Which means we can then gain access to the bolt for holding the wiper stalk in place, pull that off, and then there's 3 bolts that then holds the speedo cluster in place. So what I'm going to do is stop the video. I'm going to quickly rip all this off and then I'll bring you back. Okay, so I've now taken off all the bits and pieces. I'm just looking out loud and thinking, yeah, this is going to be a nightmare. I've somehow got to get the motor in through here. Now, if you ever, probably unlikely, but if you're ever going to do this, well, you might find a better way. But the way I can see moving forward is, I think the dashboard's got to come out. I mean, when I actually took the old unit off the old scrap car, the dash was already out anyway, so it's just quickly unbolt it and sort of leave sort of thing. But when you've actually got the whole entire dash still in place, it's going to be emission. So there's an Allen key just there, there's two underneath the radio, there's one in the far corner. If you pop these vents off, there's another Allen key there, there's one in the middle, so you've got to pop that cover off, and there's another Allen key there, and the same with that vent. Pull that vent off, again another Allen key. And if I remember rightly, the center console thing's got to come off because it's got the all the switches and stuff, so that's got to come out. Obviously the radio, the stereo, there's a lot to just undo, but I'm gonna have to pull the dash on this one, and it also means that I've got to connect up to two of these wires, and I just can't get to them. You know, there's going to be really tight at the plug end. I'd rather sort of connect it up just, you know, further down the line a little bit. So what I'm going to do is stop the video, take all of this stuff off, get the dash out, and then I'll bring you back. Okay, so that was quite interesting. There's a dash, and that's all behind my dashboard. Yeah, kind of crazy. I couldn't get it all the way out because the wiring is actually bolted to underneath the old dashboard there. But now I've got plenty of room to work on the steering column. Hopefully it's going to be, well, yeah, it's kind of scary. And somehow I've got to connect that cable into that fuse box. Doesn't look like there's a lot of wires in there, but trust me, there is. There's quite a lot of it there. Just in case you're wondering, there was don't know if you've seen in some of my videos, there was a cable going across here. Yeah, that was actually for a CB radio that I used to, well, I've got somewhere. I do quite a lot of CB radio stuff, so depending on which car I'm in, I can just plug it in and just play around. But that's the reason why there was a cable there running across. There is a few sort of extras, or a few wiring upgrades I would like to do. Now, part of the so that original wiring loom that I got for this bloody project actually comes with the proper cables for the electric windows. When I fitted the electric windows, I had the switches. I got the switches off eBay, and then had to then do all the wiring myself. So you know, it's all got the old the fuse for the electric windows. So while I'm doing the power steering, I might as well change the wiring and do the put the proper wiring in for the electric windows. Right guys, well, I'm gonna start setting things up, but what I want to do before I go is undo the knuckle bolt for that goes down to the steering rack, and then there's 4 bolts, 4 13mm bolts. You take them off and the whole steering rack, or the steering arm or column, whatever you want to call it, actually comes off. And what I'll do is I'll bolt the electric one in place and quickly tidy up some of this wiring, and then I'll bring you back. Well, I'm just having a bit of a smoke break, but you're probably wondering why I'm doing all this work. Right, well, because the car has alloy wheels, it never had alloys before, and it always had steel wheels with like narrow wheels on it. The alloys are quite wide, and it's not just me who's going to be driving this is my parents as well. So the car, you know, without power steering on alloys is really quite heavy on the steering. My mum has a few like issues. She really struggles with cars with no power steering. So you know, I'm not just doing it just for the sake of the video. I am actually doing it for a genuine purpose, and that is my parents will drive this car at some point. So yeah, I'm just thinking about them, and yeah, it's how things go really. My parents sometimes uses my cars. I sometimes use theirs. So it's always handy to have, like a little car like this. It's perfect really for bombing around town in, rather than dragging, the C5s around, and yeah, just things like that really. So that's the main reason why I'm doing all this work. We don't plan on selling this car at all. I've had it for 7 years or 6 years, whatever it is. Again, I'm not planning on selling it. I'm going to keep it for probably another 7 years or so. So yeah, it's a great little car really. So yeah, I'm just going to chill out for a minute. There is some modifications that I have got to do, but I will tell you in due course. But what can I say? Let's crack on. Okay, and here we are. The steering column is now bolted in. The new shaft that we were missing goes right down to the bottom of the old steering rack. I had to modify part of the metalwork just roughly where this motor is, but I have reinforced it, so it's looking pretty good. Yeah, what can I say? This took quite some time. I mean, like really a lot of time. And so what I'm going to do is, when I come to the electric window wiring, I think I might do that on a separate video on how to fit central locking, not central locking, electric windows. So I'll do a separate video on how to do electric windows. I don't really want to go too far with what's in the corner there. There's a lot of sensitive electronics and God knows what else. But what I would have to, well, what I will say, so this is the ECU that actually gets bolted on the floor of the passenger side, and then obviously the cable then runs over to the driver's side. These are the two plugs that go to the motor, and that speedo wiring loom, that's the plug for that one there, and it just needs some power. There's an earth wire, so you've got to make sure you've earthed it properly, but like I say, I'm not going to show you where exactly where this has got to go. Like I said, the car's got quite sensitive electronics. You guys might say, well, it's just a car, but if you know what I'm trying to say, yeah, just don't look in that car. So right, what I'm going to do, quickly fit this, quickly run the cable in through the dash, and then I'll bring you back when I come to do the wiring for the harness. Okay, so I've managed to sort the old box thingy out down there. I ran the cable up. Now I couldn't really find a decent earth on that side, so what I've done is replace part of the loom, and that's like a nice thick cable. There's a good earth point just down here that that deals with the rest of the car. So yeah, so that's the earth point. On this bit of conduit there, that goes in through the bulkhead to the battery. I've still got a fuse, still put the fuse and stuff on there, but I'll do that when the rest of the dash is back in. I've tidied up some of the cables. Yeah, there's a lot going on in here, to say the least. Right, so when it comes to the fuse box, obviously we want fuse 10, which is near this relay. Now it's soon come to light that actually there's no fixings in the back of it, and the power that it requires is this orange white, this orange and white wire here. Again, looking on the board, apart from this heavy pink one, it's basically on a slot there. what I'm going to do is use what's known as a piggyback fuse, which is one of these. So this enables that you can take the fuse out, put it onto here, and this will hold two fuses. So the piggyback basically allows you to add another circuit without destroying the rest of the wiring on the back. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So that will be going near the fuse box and do what it's supposed to do. That's the only way really forward without destroying the fuse box. Other fuse boxes on most cars, they have the plugs on the back, so you can just pull the fuses out, or the fuse box out. On this particular car, I'm not able to do that. The actual main fuse box is part of the whole entire wiring loom of the whole car. So, saying that, I don't really want to destroy it. So I'm just going to use these piggyback fuses. That will get me out of trouble. I did the extra wiring for the two wires that need to be connected for the speedo. That's all up there, and the actual main plug is this one here. Now that's what plugs into this harness, which goes all the way down to the ECU to make this thing work. So yeah, this is one heck of a massive challenge. Just so people are aware, I am fully qualified in all aspects of the motor industry, and I did have to modify part of the main brackets. Now, don't ask me why. I got a feeling that at some point this area may have been fixed at some point, because some of the markings don't quite line up. So again, I'm not entirely sure about the history of the car. I mean, yeah, I only found out like the year after I bought it, when I went and put it in for its MOT, that the front cross member was bent. So yeah, it wouldn't be surprised if something else is going on. But structurally, it's sound. But like I said, I'm not entirely sure if this has been, been in an accident and it's been repaired. I couldn't tell you if it has or not. But yeah, it just seems weird that things don't quite line up as they should be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video, and I'm going to now refit the dash back to how it was, and then I'll bring you back for connecting the big fat wire to the battery, and we go from there. Well, what can I say? It's been a couple of hours. Car's still looking a bit messy, but everything's all back in as it should, including the steering wheel. Yeah, you can see what time I started. About half 9? And it's, what time is it? Coming up for like 2:30. So yeah, it's a good 5 hours worth of work I've done here. Right, so you guys are probably eager to know at what stage I'm at. So obviously everything's all back together again. Right, this is the wiring loom that comes from that new wiring loom that I had to put in for the power steering. So this one's here. I've put a nice 40 amp fuse on there, so that will be tucked in there. It is quite important that obviously between the battery and the fuse, you want to make sure that cable doesn't rub up against something. That's why I put it through this conduit. So well, we're up to that stage now, so comment down below, do you think this is a waste of time? Do you think this thing's ever going to work? And yeah, I'll just hold on for a couple of more seconds, get your replies down below, and let's reconnect the battery. Right, well there's no sparks, which is good. Nothing smoking. I can't see. Right, you notice I put that there for a second. Yeah, so on the back of the dash there is quite a lot of other equipment that I'd rather not go through really. I'll just switch the stereo off. So yeah, there's a lot of equipment under that area that I'm not going to go into. It's kind of personal. So at the moment I've just loosely left it there. Yeah. And right, so what I'm going to do is, okay, ignition's on. We got the steering wheel. Oh my days, the steering light's gone out. Hang on a minute, let's do that again. That's off. It's on. Oh, crikey. No way. Is this really going to work? I mean, literally, is this thing really going to work? Right, well, I've left the ignition on. There's no smoke or anything shone in. I'll just use my little pinky just in case. Right, so I can't move that at all. Right, I'm going to switch it off. Switch it back on again. Light's gone out. Right, so get my old pinky. Oh, no way! No way! No, that can't. Oh, no way! That is actually working. Right, take the key out. So the key's there. Yeah, I can't move it with my pinky. Just a little bit there. I can't move it anymore. Oh, no way. No way. I tell you what, this is so better than the... Actually, it's right up there with the C5 Caravan. Yeah, I'm kind of blown away. I really can't believe it. An S that's now got yeah, power steering on it. Yeah, I'm kind of speechless. I don't really know what to say right now. I'll be right back. I'm going to go for a smoke. Wow. Yeah, I'm sitting down right now. Yeah, I'm blown away. I had my doubts, and the reason why, obviously, anyone has doubts really. There was a lot of obstacles in the way that I had to deal with, like missing parts. The wiring wasn't quite right behind the speedo. Didn't realise it had a mechanical speedo. I thought, you know, it'd be electric, but yeah. Then finding out that car had other issues as well, which I wasn't aware of, and yeah, it's a bit different really, but I just can't believe that. I really can't believe that works. Yeah. You probably notice it's got my name on the back. I know a lot of people say, well, that's a bit sad. Well, yeah, it kind of is, but this is a sort of like a one-off. You know, this is probably the only Seicento in the whole of the UK, if not the world, which is an S that has all the luxuries of an SX, apart from the sunroof. But then I don't really need a sunroof, because sometimes they leak, and by not having the sunroof, it's not going to leak. Well, not that area anyway. But you know, yeah, I've done so much to this car. I really have. Rev counter, I fitted that. Electric windows, fitted that. Central locking, fitted that. Alloy wheels. You know, this car never had alloy wheels, including the bumpers. They aren't original. They're Michael Schumacher edition bumpers. So if I can try and improve on something in regards to like looks, because I'm ugly enough, so by having something a bit more prettier may sort of offset things slightly, if you know what I mean. But yeah, and now it's got power steering. Yeah, that I'm really not, I'm really blown away about this little car. It's amazing. If you haven't driven a Seicento, you really need to get behind the wheel of one, because it's something else on the road. It really is. Um, you know, um, I'm gonna have to hold my hand a bit better because yeah, my dyspraxia is really playing me up. So shaky hand is not a good thing. Yeah, if you haven't driven these cars, if you know someone who's got one, ask them politely and say, look, can I have a go in your car? Because it's like driving a little go-kart around, literally, it's like a road legal go-kart. I saw an old Mini down on the 303 the other day, and he literally went straight past me, and I thought, Jesus Christ, I'm even smaller than he is. And yeah, it's just, you really need to experience driving one of these cars. Yeah, it's an amazing car. It really is. Right, guys. Well, I will be doing a video at some point regards to the electric windows. Time for me today is it's disappearing really fast. So I will be doing another video on improving the wiring on the electric windows, and possibly do some more bits and pieces as well. Yeah, what can I say? Well, all I'm going to say is, if you like what you see, please give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And just may, I might see you at some point. Anyway, guys, take care. See you next time.